What if I told you there was a kind of spiritual shortcut, almost like a divine cheat code tucked away in some ancient Buddhist texts that promises to fix a really fundamental human problem, and it only takes 4 steps? Well, today, we're diving into this super fast path to attainment and how it's all supposed to work. Wow. Okay, let that one sink in for a second. That is an incredibly intense statement, right? But it really sets the stage for the whole problem that this spiritual path is designed to solve. It suggests that, without some kind of major intervention, our very nature kind of leads us down a pretty tough road. So you hear that, and it immediately raises this huge question. If that's really our starting point, if we're naturally wired for negativity, then is there a way out? Is there a system that offers a real solution? Let's take a look at what these texts propose. Okay, so to really get the solution, we first have to understand the problem. And the way these texts describe it is, well, it's surprisingly modern. They basically say our human condition is like running on a buggy, unstable operating system. The key term here is unstable nature. And you can seriously think of it just like a glitchy piece of software. You might start with the best intentions. You want to be a good person. But the second something unexpected happens, bam, somebody cuts you off in traffic, the system crashes, and you flip straight to anger. It's that inherent instability that this whole shortcut is designed to fix. And what happens if you just let this buggy OS run its course? Well, according to these texts, the default consequence is landing on the evil path, which is really a state of suffering, like hell. Without a serious, deliberate intervention, that's described as the natural, almost inevitable outcome. So, how do you fix a faulty operating system? You don't just apply a few little patches here and there. No, you go for a complete divine upgrade. And this specific path is a 4-step overhaul of your entire spiritual system. So here it is, the 4-step process. Each step is guided by a specific enlightened being, and each one builds perfectly on the last. You start with a total system restore, then you move to a brand new software install, then a hardware boost, and you finish it all off with a really powerful special app. All right, let's start with step 1, the foundation of the whole thing. Baosheng Buddha's job here is to perform a complete karma reset. But hold on, because this is way, way more than just wiping the slate clean. And this is where it gets absolutely wild. Baosheng Buddha doesn't just erase your bad data, the consequences of all your negative actions. He actively replaces it, gifting you the rewards for good deeds that you haven't even done. It's like having all your debt erased and then being handed a winning lottery ticket. You go from a massive negative karmic balance to a huge positive one, just instantly. Okay, so with your karma completely reset, you have a fresh, clean system that's ready for a new install. This is where Medicine Buddha steps in, to give you what's called spiritual capital. Basically, all the essential tools you're going to need for any effective practice. Spiritual capital is basically the full pro suite of software you need to actually do the job. I mean, trying to cultivate all these qualities on your own could take lifetimes. The idea here is that Medicine Buddha just gives them to you, fully installed, licensed, and ready to go from day one. So what exactly is in this spiritual software suite? Well, you're gifted the capacity for upholding precepts, for generosity, for having the right view, for diligence, a skillful mind, and even the ability to grasp really profound, deep concepts. All of a sudden, all those foundational skills you'd have to struggle to build are just yours? All right, your karma is fixed and your spiritual software is installed. Now for the final 2 steps. This is the ultimate blessing. Think of this part as a massive performance boost to accelerate the entire process. This is the hardware boost. Amitabha Buddha's role here is to fast-track your development and grant you supernatural abilities, or shentong. And these aren't just for show. They're seen as advanced tools that actually help your spiritual progress even more. And finally, you get the special app. You are taught the Great Compassion Mantra directly by Guanyin Bodhisattva. This is presented as an incredibly powerful tool for your own practice and for helping others. It's really the final piece of your new divine toolkit. And this right here, this really gets to the core philosophy of this whole path. The emphasis is all about speed, about efficiency. The logic is, why spend countless lifetimes building everything from scratch when you can get a divine upgrade and start your real work right now?
So let's just recap this total transformation package, because it's pretty amazing. You go from having a negative balance and faulty tools to having positive karma you didn't earn, a full suite of spiritual software, and advanced abilities that are already activated. It's the whole shebang.
And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating final thought to chew on. If the very foundations of spiritual progress, good karma, the right tools, even advanced abilities, can simply be given to you, what does that say about the role of our own effort? It kind of turns the whole idea of spiritual struggle on its head, doesn't it? Something powerful to reflect on. Thanks so much for joining this explainer.